Yo! Let's have a chat, shall we? A civilized one. Now, by the title, you might think I'm about to complain about something crazy, but I'm here to just present what's happening. So I hope I don't get death threats, okay? You see, what sparked the idea for today's video is after I tried out the early access in the story where we get to try out Youhu, I just loved her, right? Her design is adorable. She has a really unique RNG type of mechanic where it just doesn't even look like a 4-star. It feels like they put a lot of design and effort into this one. I wouldn't be surprised if the design of it is 5-star. And I thought to myself, damn, I want to get me a Youhu. I really want to play her. But as I get on my convene page, I realize, oh, she's not rated up. In fact, she's straight up not even available at all. If we take a look at the list here, yeah, there's no Youhu in here in the 4-star list. Upon digging deeper, I realized that Kuro Games actually intended Youhu to only be available in Jiyan's rerun banner. From a really logical standpoint, that can seem to be a bit annoying. We have a new character in Youhu with such beautiful design, and she has such an interesting kit as well, but it's not even available in a shorekeeper version, the version she's introduced in, like Yuhu's introduced in. Not only that, I have to pull on a rerun banner that I may have already owned or not want to pull on in order to get a rated up Youhu. It's either that or I have to hope that I get lucky and get a Youhu from, say, a normal convene down the line. So for me personally, that's already pretty inconvenient, and I got pretty curious, so I found what the community thought. Truth be told, for the EN side of things, most of them are positive and no one are really, annoyed by the fact that Youhu is only available in a rerun banner, right? Which credit where credit's due, Kuro Game is doing such an amazing job that most people are just full of praises. But when I look at the CN side of things though, it is pretty fire. There are quite a lot of creators on Availability that talked about this topic, where the main issue can be summarized by this guy with the profile name of Eating Dio's Grandpa's Bread here. That's a cool name, guys. In summary, there are 3 points of view for this entire scenario and why people might not find this as ideal. The first point being, for people that played MiHoYo games before, apparently this system was adopted by MiHoYo before and that just wasn't great. Now, I'm not going to comment too much on this point because I don't even know what MiHoYo system was before. At least right now in Honkai Star Rail, the 4-star that's new are rated up along with the limited 5-star that's new in the version as well. I never had an issue with it. But then here's point number 2. According to the CN commenter, the whales that already have a fully chained up GN will be forced to pull even more GNs in the GN rerun banner just to get more of Youhu. And it gets even worse when they are going for a max chain Youhu, which for 4 stars is really generic to go for max chains. And of course, these are just whales, so it might not be too relatable, but here's the third point of view. This will be the relatable one where it's about casual players that really want to play Youhu, and that would be me because of her immaculate design. You see, the problem that's pointed out here is that casual free-to-play players tend to not have that many summons all the time, and with someone as dominant and valuable as Shorekeeper coming out just this phase, most of the free-to-play casual players will be going for Shorekeeper with no chance of obtaining Youhu because, well, it's just not available in the banner. So if these players want to get Youhu, they are forced to pull on their rerun of GN. So what if they just don't want GN, right? Or point number 2, what if they already have GN, like me personally? I'm not really trying to go for the chains, but if I at all want to get Youhu, I have to pull on GN's banner again. And if casual free-to-plays take the risk in order to get Youhu, what if they just get GN? They'll now have a character that they don't really want, and the character that they want in Youhu, they might not even get. Or at least they may not have enough summons to, going off of Shorekeeper's banner. And because of that, there has been some heat going on in the CN side for sure, with multiple commenters pointing this out in multiple sources from their videos or community posts. Now, you see, for me, credit where credit's due, Kuro Games is doing an immaculate job. They're patching things that needs to be patched up, adding things that people want as well. They are listening for sure. And not to mention courtesy of one of the CN creators. I only learned about this, but apparently Kuro Games has went through over a year of development to even come up with someone like Jinsei and finish designing her, right? And from what I've experienced by playing Yuhu's trial version or early access version in the story, her design certainly does not fall below any other 5-stars design that we have. Her attack animations are not only just a swing weapon around, there are varieties to it. Her kit is not just use skill, use alt, swap out. There's a lot more varieties to it as well. And overall, you can just feel this character has been through quite a long time of development as well. So for me, although I understand that they will want Youhu to also be a whole character in itself, to say incentivize people to pull on the second phase banner as well, because they just put a lot of effort into it, right? But at the same time, I can also understand people's concern of, say, if they want Youhu, there's practically no guarantee guaranteed way to get Youhu without risking themselves getting Jiyan. And that could be seen as annoying because most people would just want Youhu to be available while shorekeeper is being pulled as a bonus, right? And yeah, that's the whole scenario. Before we continue with the video, it is still important to know this is not me complaining, just a discussion, right? I hope we can all be civilized and talk about what we agree or disagree on rather than just saying, yo, your eyes are fucking narrow. All right, now, in my opinion, I certainly think this is a system that's flawed and no one really wins, because if you think about it, they put so much effort in designing Youhu. I'm hoping that people get to even play her, but at the same time, for the fact that they have put Yuhu's rate up for another banner that's a rerun banner, more people are incentivized to in fact not pull on the rerun because they don't want GN or they already have a GN. So less people overall will even get to try Youhu or play with Youhu. Now conversely, if Kuro put Youhu with shorekeeper as well, then people are also still less incentivized to go for GN's banner in phase 2 because I pulled shorekeeper, I got a bonus Youhu, great, all the new characters are obtained, I don't gotta spend anymore. Now I'm sure there's not like a one-fits-all solution where Kuro games will maximize the sales on GN's banner and people still get Youhu without pulling on GN's banner. Like, that just doesn't happen. From what I found out, the most popular solution that has been presented would be to just put Youhu as a rate up in both of the banners, which for me personally, it does make the people happy, which is the bloodline of a game. You want a happy community. But then again, they put a lot of effort in designing all for one banner to cover both characters and for one of them to be the bonus if I get her along with shorekeeper. Oh, that's great. In my opinion, that is the closest thing to a great solution. Now, unless if they have an event that gives you a free Youhu, then that's a different story, and that would low-key just be too good. And still, they may get a lot less sales for GN's banner, right? If you give a 4-star for free, well, there's actually no reason to pull for GN's banner anymore for most people. But to put a 4-star in his banner as a reason to make people pull for him does not seem like a great idea, because I own a GN, or a lot of people might not want a GN. The worst thing you can do is force people to pull in a banner that they don't want to get a 4-star, right? That does not seem like an ideal scenario. So I'll have to agree the best solution is just put the 4-star rate up in both banners and just roll with that. If the thought process is trying to incentivize people to pull for phase 2, you simply need attractive banner on phase 2. So in the end, I think the best solution is just put Youhu in both banners. That way, people that want shorekeeper could get a Youhu. People who only want the Youhu can still just pull on shorekeeper's banner. If you get a new character, great. If you spend the whole time trying to get Youhu, you didn't get her, well, think about getting her on a phase 2 banner. Then you've got no choice. At least they're not forced to only pull on a rerun banner when they don't want to, right? And that would be my thoughts on this situation. Let me know what you think would be a great solution to this issue. And in the end, for me personally, I don't really care too much. I just like playing the game. And do remember, Kuro Games is one of the most interactive companies, right? Whenever anyone has a complaint, they actually hear it, they implement it with a patch. They're doing already a really good job. So while I think this is an issue, I don't think this is worth like grilling them apart for. Overall, man, Kuro, keep things up. Y'all are doing great. And yeah, you should talk about your opinions too in the comments down below. But again, remember, it's a civilized discussion. Thank you, and take care.